The Intercept, May 8th, 1941, 2:17 hours, Hut 8, Bletchley Park, England. Rain needles the blackout windows. A teleporter chatters, then stalls. Cigarette smoke hangs low, sour and heavy. Somewhere down the corridor, a clock ticks too loudly. Alan Turing leans closer to the paper tape as it creeps forward. Perforated holes glinting under a bare bulb. The machine clacks again, hesitant, like it knows what's at stake. A Royal Navy signal. High frequency. Short bursts. North Atlantic. No one speaks. A Wren removes her headphones. Fingers trembling. She doesn't look at Turing. She looks at the message, then at the cipher sheet spread across the table. Creases worn thin by weeks of failure. Outside, a bomber drones eastward, unseen, its engines fading into the night. The Enigma has spoken again. Inside Hut 8, the air is colder than the May rain. Turing straightens, tie crooked, hair already defeated by long hours. He studies the indicators. Rotor settings. Message key. A fragment repeats. Not random. Never random. You can feel it before you understand it. That tightening in the chest, the sense that something irreversible is about to happen. The bomb machines hum in the adjacent room, cabinets of spinning drums and wiring, rotating with relentless mechanical patience. They have been running all night, chewing through permutations at a speed no human mind could match. Most nights, they find nothing. Most nights end with silence and another convoy lost somewhere between Halifax and Liverpool. Tonight is different. A junior mathematician whispers, "Sir, look at this." A crib has landed. A predictable phrase buried inside the German signal traffic. Weather report wording. Naval routine. The sort of human habit that machines depend on and betray. Turing's pencil scratches hard against paper. He adjusts the logical chain, forces a contradiction, then another. The bomb's rhythm changes. Faster, louder. A click echoes through the room. Stopped. For a moment, no one breathes. A Wren moves to the output tray. Hand steady now. She lifts the sheet. Letters spill across the page. Not nonsense. Not chaos. German. Plain. Structured. Alive. Coordinates. Kurs. Jeschwindigkeit. U-boat Wolfpack positions. Transmitted hours ago. Still valid. Still deadly. In that instant, the war shifts, though no one yet dares to say it. Because if this is real, if the cipher has finally cracked in time, then the Atlantic is about to answer. And somewhere out there, steel hulls are already turning toward their prey. The illusion of victory. July 10th, 1941. Near Smolensk. Midday heat hangs thick over the road. A German Panzer III sits idle at the edge of a wheat field, engine ticking as it cools. Its crew lounges nearby, helmets off, shirts dark with sweat. One of them lights a cigarette, hands shaking, not from fear, but exhaustion. The advance has been relentless. Villages blur together. Rivers are crossed before maps can be unfolded. Ahead, black smoke coils upward where another Soviet column has been destroyed. This is what victory is supposed to look like. Army Group Center has driven more than 400 miles into the Soviet Union in less than 3 weeks. Minsk is gone. Hundreds of thousands of Red Army soldiers have been encircled. German generals speak openly of the campaign being nearly finished. Some predict Moscow by August. In Berlin, newspapers declare the Soviet Union mortally wounded. But at the front, the war is already changing. The roads are no longer roads. Summer dust turns to choking clouds under tank tracks, clogging engines and lungs alike. Fuel trucks lag behind. Spare parts are scarce. Horses, hundreds of thousands of them, collapse where they stand, work to death pulling artillery through terrain no one bothered to study closely. And the prisoners keep coming. Long columns stretch for miles, guarded by teenagers from Bavaria and Saxony, who stare in disbelief at the sheer number of men surrendering. But among the defeated faces, there is something unsettling, less panic now, more anger. Fists clench, eyes harden. Soviet units don't always run. Outside Smolensk, a German reconnaissance battalion rolls into what looks like an abandoned position. Helmets and rifles lie scattered. The silence feels wrong. Then the ground erupts. Camouflage T. 34 tanks burst from tree lines, sloped armor shrugging off shells that should have penetrated. German anti-tank rounds bounce away at impossible angles. Crews shout. Turrets swing. One Panzer explodes in a sheet of flame. For the first time, German tankers realize they are not technically superior here. Reports flood upward. New Soviet tanks. Heavier armor. Diesel engines that don't burn as easily. Wide tracks that move effortlessly through mud and fields. The vaunted Blitzkrieg suddenly meets something it was never designed to face. At headquarters, senior officers argue. General Heinz Guderian demands permission to push east without pause, to finish the job before the Soviets can recover. Others warn of overextension, of flanks left exposed, a supply line stretched in across hostile land. Hitler listens and then intervenes. He orders diversions. Ukraine first. Leningrad isolated. Resources split. The march on Moscow delayed. The decision feels small on paper. On the ground, it is enormous. As German spearheads turn south and north, the Soviets breathe, for the first time since June, not in relief, but in grim determination. In Moscow, Georgy Zhukov takes command of the Western Front, thick-set, blunt, relentless. He does not speak of retreat as defeat. He calls it space. Time, blood purchased at unbearable cost. Entire armies are ordered to stand and die to slow the Germans. And they do. At Yelnya, Soviet troops counterattack again and again, charging through artillery fire, losing thousands of ground that will be lost and retaken repeatedly. The Germans hold, but they bleed. Officers begin writing letters home that sound different now, less confident, more urgent. The Luftwaffe still dominates the sky, but even that edge dulls. Aircraft fly constant sorties, wearing down engines faster than maintenance crews can keep up. Soviet fighters appear in greater numbers, often piloted by men with only hours of training. But they keep coming, and behind the front, something vast is moving. In the Urals, beyond the reach of German bombers, entire cities of steel and smoke rise almost overnight. Factories arrive by rail, machines bolted to flat cars, workers packed into freight wagons with their families. Women, teenagers, old men step off trains into mud and cold, and begin assembling tanks under open skies. Production does not slow. It accelerates. In August, German intelligence intercepts reports they do not believe. Soviet tank output increasing. Aircraft numbers rising. New divisions forming east of the Volga. It makes no sense. They were supposed to be finished. At the front, resistance hardens into something personal. Villages fight back. Snipers stalk roads. Supply convoys disappear at night. Partisans begin cutting rail lines, ambushing messengers, leaving bodies as warnings. German soldiers start sleeping with rifles in their arms. The war of movement is slowing. The war of endurance is beginning. Then the rains come. Late September. The skies open. Roads dissolve into rivers of mud. Vehicles sink to their axles. Horses drown where they fall. Men curse and push and slip, uniforms soaked, boots rotting on their feet. This is the Rasputitsa, the season no timetable accounted for. And somewhere ahead, still far ahead, Moscow waits, unbroken,